What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK here on TGK TV, and today we got a special episode. Today we're going to react to Shan Shariff's hot take. 105.3 The Fans host and for the morning show, and he had a hot take about the Dallas Mavericks. So we're going to watch that video and we're going to react to it together, and then we'll read some of the comments that are under that video, and then after that I'll give you my thoughts and opinions of our local sports media, and specifically 105.3 The Fan. So without further ado and without wasting your time, let's get straight to Shan Shariff's crazy hot take on the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go.
Over the past few weeks, there seems to be this momentum building from the fans and the media that the Mavericks are now a legit, true championship contender. They did a fantastic job of moving up to the number 3 seed, overtook Golden State, even though everyone's tied right now. Both teams are tied at 48 and 29. So both teams are 6 games back.
Before he keeps talking, there on the bottom of this video, there's this little ticker saying Shan's Mavs hot take. And then right under there, it's a question saying, does Mark Cuban have Mavs fans tricked about the Mavericks' chances at a championship? And I'm going to go off of what my boy Dave's Big Head, check out his YouTube channel. He dropped a video today talking about Luka and European players. But we were in a group chat, and he did mention, like, since when did Mark Cuban ever talk about the Mavericks title chances? And I sit there like, he's never mentioned that. And Dave was like, he only talks about NFTs and his pharmacy company. And so I'm just like, does Mark Cuban have Mavs fans tricked about the chances, about the Mavericks' chance at the championship? Like, I don't know where that came from. And again, before we even go deeper into this, I already have suspicions that 105.3 The Fan don't even watch Mavs basketball. And I'm pretty sure they clearly don't even listen or watch Mark Cuban's Twitter or whatever he even be talking about. They're probably just projecting. This is going to be the theme of this video. They're projecting the Dallas Cowboys angst or apathy. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this video started. Let's go.
Of Memphis, 2 games up on Utah. But right now, the Mavs are the number 3, and they clinched a playoff berth. Guys, the Dallas Mavericks are not a championship contender. Stop tweeting it. Stop saying it. I know Dirk got everyone hyped the other night because they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road, saying this team's really fun to watch. And fine, maybe they are fun to watch. But the Mavs have been they've been playing above their heads, and they've been getting a little bit lucky. Last week, we gave you the clutch stats that came out from Bleacher Report. That, first off, clutch doesn't carry over to the postseason. You'll love that, RJ. So Spencer Dinwiddie.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Clutch doesn't carry over. So what Dinwiddie is doing, the numbers say, will not carry over to the playoffs, which I would think it should carry over because, you know, if you're good in that moment and your confidence builds, hopefully it carries over to the postseason. But I'll send you the article.
I guess what my assumption would be is that that's saying that they don't really care to play defense in the regular season, and you have more contested shots in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Could be it.
That wasn't the explanation in that, but that makes sense. Mavs have won 3 straight. Fun. Thank you for making the second half of the season fun after we all punted on them, and everyone did except for the true 5 annoying blind homers who think they're going to win it every year because you sip Mark Cuban's Kool-Aid. But they beat the Jazz. They didn't have to go.
5 homers. The fact that he thinks it's 5 is hilarious to me because this radio station, all they do is talk about Dallas Cowboys every single day, all day. So the fact that you're talking about 5 Mavericks fans that are homers that believe in the Mavericks, that they're going to win a championship, and you don't get upset with millions upon millions of Dallas Cowboy fans that say we're going to win it every single year, and we never do, and it's been almost 30 years since then. I mean, at least the Mavericks have a title to show for it within the last 10 years. So I don't, or 11 years. I just don't understand the vitriol that Shariff is displaying here. I don't know where his anger is coming from, whether it's from Jason Kidd being hired or Mark Cuban not giving him interviews. I don't know what it is, but to be coming at 5 fans and sharing a whole segment on it on the radio to finally talk about the Mavericks. One, it's kind of wild to be going after just 5 fans, but let's continue.
Bear. Yeah, they beat the Lakers. There was no LeBron. Evan Mobley was out for the Cavs. They split with the Wolves. They beat the Nets. They didn't have Kyrie. Beating Miami was impressive, but all these receipts that you saved between Bassick and I saying that they were not a contender, let's up it. Let's up it a little bit. If you want to bet that the Mavericks make it to, now I won't even say win, the Mavericks make it to the conference finals of the Western Conference, let's bet. And we'll go ahead and put fun $50 bets on however many people want to do it. But don't tell me that the Dallas Mavericks are going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets.
Before we continue, Shan Shariff, I'll take that bet. I'll take the bet. I'll take the $50 bet. But that's not the entire point in this conversation. It's not to talk about bets. And I don't know why out of the entire year that y'all finally choose to talk about the Dallas Mavericks, it has to be in such a negative tone. I don't understand the negative tone behind your approach in talking about the Mavericks. So, but if you want to make bets about it and have fun about it and be so upset that people have basically are the fact that people are excited that the Mavericks are a 3 seed and going into the playoffs. I mean, they are 3-1 against the Warriors. They are 3-1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. The only team they really struggled with is against the Suns, but they went deep in the fourth quarter before they lost to them, and they played against them without Luka. So a lot of this is like, all right, yeah, there's going to be a bit of fans that have this notion that we got a chance, because we do have a chance. We have a shot. But to say we have no shot is a little bit crazy to me in all honesty. But it also just shows that you haven't been watching basketball at all this entire year. And I get it. Maybe nobody is watching Bally. I know I'm finding a way to watch the games. And I get that. Everyone doesn't have access to it. Kind of to the video I was talking about yesterday. But the thing is, to finally talk about the Mavs, you would think, hey, they overcame having a 17-18 record. They overcame the KP trade. They overcame Luka being hurt. And they are a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. The fact that they overcame all of these odds, the fact that Jason Kidd actually is a good coach, the fact that the GM made a great trade when everybody crapped on it, the fact that everyone crapped on his roster, but this roster is starting to show that we got some damn good players. Instead of talking about all the positives and all the potential ways of being able to make the Western Conference Finals, you are dead set on talking about the negative and the narrative and the perception of, oh, we got a chance, of, oh, Mark Cuban selling us. No, buddy, Mark Cuban did not sell us. You're just stuck on the Jerry Jones Kool-Aid of what he normally does to y'all, because the majority of your topics are always Dallas Cowboys topics. 80% Dallas Cowboys topics, probably 10% Rangers, 5% some other stuff, like little show games, and then 5% Mavs, or a mixture between 5% of Stars and Mavs together. So there isn't the same issues that you have with the Cowboys with the Mavs. So none of this translates. None of this crosses over into the next team. These are two completely different teams with two completely different trajectories, with two completely different set of players. On the Cowboys, you don't have a top 10 player on that team. On the Mavericks, you have a top 3 player in the league. Possibly you could say top number 1 or top 2 at least. So there's a whole big difference. When you got a superstar like Luka, you go a lot further in the playoffs as to what you got with the Cowboys. None of this crosses over. Doesn't translate, especially the narrative and how everyone is, or how Shariff is approaching this. Let's continue.
The Phoenix Suns, and yes, I'll say the Golden State Warriors. Don't tell me that they're going to beat those teams in a series. This team still has to get out of round 1, and y'all are sitting here replanning your 2011 championship parade. I just had to let the air out of the hype balloon.
All right, so we're replanning our 2011 championship parade. I don't know if Shariff's jaded because he did grow up as a Redskins fan, so I understand. You know, you may have had hope as well, and you probably got the rough end of the stick. You know, you ain't seen the championship over there in a lot longer than the Cowboys, so I get it. And you come over here to Dallas, and we had championship-level rosters, and we just haven't seen it, you know? All right, let's get back into this video.
Because they're playing great, and they're getting different guys stepping up, but I'm going to revert to the formula that the NBA has proven. Now, the Mavericks were one of those exceptions. You got to have star power to win. But I got all these YMCA Mavs fans saying, oh, no, it's just the chemistry is special. You don't understand it. It was going to take time. We tried to tell you when they got rid of Porzingis, it was going to take some time to gel and go ahead. And you don't need stars because we got talent wins. And you have one of the greats, and he will be one of the greatest of all time, and Luka Doncic. But I'm not sitting there getting hyped. See, this is what Cuban does to y'all. Mark Cuban's already won. He's already won this year. This regular season run has a certain amount of Mavs fans so excited that it will justify it if they don't do anything in the offseason. And Mark can say, did you see, top 3 in the Western Conference is pretty damn good. It's hard to argue with that. If you said, we had a better season than the Golden State Warriors, and that allows him to keep dragging it out and keep missing and keep filling up your ears and your head with hot air, because that's what comes out of Mark's mouth a lot of times when it comes to them as a true contender. Now,
all right, so he said a lot in that piece right there. So first off, I don't understand where this YMCA Mavs fans is coming from, because I hoop at 24 Hour Fitness, and a lot of the Mavs fans that I see there, they're hyped. They're hyped in the sense that, damn, we got a generational star. All right, he talks about having stars. That's the recipe for winning. I get it. But you're in the city that won a championship with 1 star versus 3. The fact that you're in this city and the fact that you cannot see that the Mavericks have done this before with our own recipe, and now we put in a little remix on it, and you think that it reverts to doing it the way the Nets did it or the Lakers did it or what other super team you're talking about, right, with stars. I just can't understand the approach into why you went at it this way. And I understand Shariff, if anybody knows him, he's very big on ratings. Therefore, the Cowboys, they provide the most ratings for whenever they talk, because there's no point for them to talk about anybody else except the Cowboys. So I totally understand it. I understand radio programming and how it goes. You have to try to fill in these time slots. This isn't like a podcast where you can make 1 day a week and then post it. You got to work every single day and fill in 2 to 3 hours worth of topics. And yeah, you probably have a 5 to 10 minute commercial break, so you're probably looking at an hour and a half of programming. I don't know. I'm just saying from what I think I know. But to be coming after fans, when your station is called The Fan, and you're mad at the fans for being hyped, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It gives me these ESPN First Take vibes. That's what I get out of this. But let's get in. It didn't not get into the next topic, but then he translated back to Mark Cuban. Oh, Mark Cuban is going to keep missing. And what he's trying to get at is that Mark Cuban doesn't deliver in the offseason, and he doesn't do well. He doesn't put a team together well around Luka. Let's be honest. What is this called? The Luka's offense is called like a heliocentric offense, right? Kind of similar to James Harden. But this is a better ran offense with Luka, because now you have 2 other guards that can handle the rock. You have shooters in Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith. You actually have players on this team. But the fact that you don't watch games, you don't see the adjustments Jason Kidd does, you don't see the effort these players do. I'm willing to say that Josh Green isn't as big as a bust as we thought he was, because he is starting to come around. He's not Desmond Bane, unfortunately, but he is starting to come around. He is starting to show his potential that he has. But to say that the Mavericks missed and Cuban missed, yeah, we missed. We missed a lot. But having Luka now and seeing the things that he's done with Dinwiddie, seeing the things he's done with Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber for certain instances, because Maxi needs to turn around and shot. But other than that, Luka makes Maxi look so good. And Maxi has really good defense. You talk about that. You talk about Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell, come on, we got to give Dwight Powell his due. He's done very well this season when everyone, including myself, were ready to trade him. But he's done so well, and he fits very well with Luka. With all that being said, I don't understand the take that he is going right here. Either it's to rile fans up like myself, it's either to get the clicks on the video, it's either to get the reaction on the radio station. There's probably a whole slew of things as to the reasoning behind why he did this. But For any rational person that actually watches the games, for any rational person that actually hoops, for any rational person that knows basketball, and for any rational person that is a Mavs fan for life, you know that this team, besides the chemistry, because chemistry off the court does help on the court play, you cannot undermine that. From street ball to a semi-pro ball to AAU ball, whatever, or to the NBA to college, you definitely need chemistry. But when you got a star like Luka that can take so much attention on the offensive end, it makes everybody else's job easier. And when you lock in on defense, you have a chance against anybody. Anybody. So I'm 4 minutes and 25 seconds into this video. I got like 3 to go. Let's see what other crap he tries to spew out of here. Let's go.
If this is wrong, it will be an awful, awful time period for me. And my mentions will be horrible and terrible. But no, they are not a serious, legit championship threat. It's a fantastic regular season. Jason Kidd deserves all the praise. Nico, 1 for 1 in terms of his trades. I'm just getting tired of hearing it. I'm getting tired of hearing it because it's not true and it's not accurate.
I'm not scared.
All right, so Shariff is tired of hearing about the Dallas Mavericks being a title contender. Well, it's probably because that's the only thing you've heard. And it's probably because, to reiterate what I've already said, you don't watch the games. So how about talk about things that you haven't heard? How about talk about the things that they have done well? How about talk about the things you're not tired about? Because evidently you're not tired of talking about the Cowboys every day. And you're not tired about talking about Amari Cooper. Or you're not tired of talking about Lael Collins. But you won't talk about all the transgressions that Jerry Jones has had in his front office, where he's got to pay people off. See, the beauty about being on YouTube and having this platform is that I used to kind of withhold my opinion on local sports talks or like local radio stations. And me, I used to be a massive, big fan of The Fan. And I still am, just not as big. I used to listen to it when it was live 105.3 The Fan back in 2009, I believe. And I was there when they crossed over to 105.3 The Fan the very first day. Listened to them every single day. I had to drive from Pleasant Grove all the way to Farmers Branch to work at Stanley Steamer. That was about an hour drive at that time. And that's when gas prices were $4.50 for regular. And I used to do that. I used to listen to The Fan. And when I was working for Stanley Steamer, I was in a van all day helping out the carpet cleaner. And we talk about what they were talking about. You had Newey Scruggs. Who else you had? You had Richie Witt. Richie Witt. And then you had Arnie. Arnie Spanier carried that damn radio station. He really did. But that's besides the point, right? I've always wanted to hold my opinion back because I appreciated everything they did for the fan of DFW Sports. But then I started having issues with the fan when they got away from having segments where they allow fans to call in, and then they heavily relied on text. And they've been getting away from what made them early on. I remember they would have shows that go into 12 midnight to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. during the Rangers runs, the World Series. They would get drunk on air. They would have parties on air. It was a fun time early on in the 105.3 The Fans era, and then they got away from that. For, I'm pretty sure, professional reasons, which I understand. But I always held my opinion back the last couple of years because I didn't want to shit on the radio station. And I still like a lot of the hosts that are on there. I still like Shariff, besides this horrible take. Still like Gavin. Jeff, unfortunately he left, but fuck with Jeff. Alexander, that's the guy. KNC Masterpiece is a dope show. They still have good talent there. I still fuck with it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, there's this notion that, for me, that all they do is talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm glad to see that I ain't the only one that's thinking that. And so, here we are now, right? For me to use my platform that I got now and to speak on these things, whether it's positive or negative, I feel strongly about these things, about what I'm saying. And I truly feel like the fan isn't being heard anymore. The fan that they claim themselves to be is not the fan. Their radio station should be the Cowboys, because everything they talk about it is talking to just the Cowboys fan. When you got Mavs fans, you got Stars fans, you got FC Dallas soccer fans, you got the Dallas Wings fans, They deserve a segment every now and then. All your other teams in Dallas deserve some time. The Rangers fans get good time on 105.3 The Fan. Stars, Mavs, Wings to a lesser extent, the soccer team, they don't get coverage. So, is this radio station for the Cowboys fans, or is this radio station for the actual fan? And I'm not saying things that I don't believe in, because I've been listening to this radio station for over a decade. So don't tell me I'm not a fan of the fan. I just want them to do better. This right here is probably one of the worst things I've heard ever that came out of 105.3 The Fan. And that's saying something, because Mike Bassett be saying some shit. So let's see what else.
Scared of Memphis at all?
I am.
The history of the NBA, and unless we're in a new NBA.
I think they're like 19-2 without Ja. I saw
they
something
are.
like that the
It's
other
crazy.
day.
It's crazy. The history of the NBA shows that they'll be bounced in the first round. You know, like, teams don't make the playoffs and really have, like, basically the first time and just, you know, go on runs. The history of the NBA shows there's a progression of that. And now they might, but, you know, the Mavericks, I would think, I am not scared of the Memphis Grizzlies in the second round. I think the Mavs are capped at Phoenix. That's their cap. Whenever they play Phoenix.
So you think the Mavs can be, if they play the Warriors, you'll pick the Mavericks in the series?
I don't buy Golden State. There's something wrong with Golden State right now.
Yeah, you know
Injuries.
what it is? They don't have Steph Curry.
Yeah,
that's
injuries.
what's wrong with that.
That's what's wrong.
But
when's Steph going to be back? When's he going to be back? You know, like, I don't know. How healthy is he going to be when he returns? But yeah, I think it's a toss-up between them and Golden State.
Wow.
The way they're playing right now, I mean, absolutely.
Right now is not it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. It's like if Luka was gone. Like
No, I say how the Mavs are playing right now. I'm not looking at the Warriors. I'm saying how the Mavs are playing right now.
Okay.
They're playing fantastic. And you know, there is, I don't believe that there's some unique, wonderful chemistry where they all love each other and it's puppy dogs and ice cream. I just think they're playing good basketball.
They are.
And that, you know, maybe it doesn't carry over to the playoffs. Who knows? But I don't think they're a championship contender, but I do think they're capped at Phoenix.
So Dallas, Denver first round.
Dallas, Denver first round.
Yeah.
Is that what it is right now?
That's what it is right now.
3-6.
Now, I don't think Jamal Murray's coming back. If Jamal Murray was playing, I would pick Denver.
I would if Jamal Murray is back and healthy, I'd probably go Denver too.
Yeah, I think.
So what he's saying right there is he'll pick the Mavs if Jamal Murray isn't playing. So they advance to the second round. Okay.
I think it's going to be too much to overcome in terms of the ACL. I've read that Denver was usually a little bit more conservative with the return of their players with injuries. So I could pick that as a toss-up. I could pick that as a toss-up right now. But
If they don't have Jamal Murray,
yeah,
I don't think it's. I think it's 4-2 Mavs.
Okay.
I just a team whose best player doesn't have their hands on the ball at all times is I think a team ripe for a loss. Utah is interesting. Their home court's very good. Even though they wouldn't have home court the way it was set up, but playing there is brutal, and all they do is steal a game here. Look, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like they're going to roll through the first two rounds, but I do think they're capped at Phoenix, and they're certainly not as good as a handful of teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all got to hear everything Shariff got to say, and RJ didn't have as much of a hot take. I think his was actually more reasonable. They're capped at Phoenix because we haven't been successful against Phoenix, and so that makes total sense. Overall, I don't think there's much more I can add to this because, again, I've said it all early on in this video. Shariff just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, came in here hot, ready to just shit on the 5 Maverick fans that pissed him off over the weekend. I don't know what it was, or during the week. So let's get into these comments that was under this video. There's about 93 comments as of right now. And I'm going to read the ones that got the most likes. So here's the first one by Chicken Wool Point Zero. All right. Jerry must be paying him a lot to trash the Mavs because they are actually making moves compared to the Cowboys' garbage offseason moves. Ouch. There is a lot of And I get it. There's a lot of stuff that they give the fan because they are closely related to the Cowboys. I mean, they're the home of the Dallas Cowboys. So there's this probably a misconception or this perception that they are bought by the Cowboys in their opinions. But there have been some opinions that Shariff himself and other Cowboys hosts has given that doesn't give you that inclination that there is some, payola per se. But it does beg to question why come out so hot against the Mavericks and their potential and Mark Cuban and what he's not selling, but what you're saying he's selling against the Mavs over one topic when you don't kill Jerry Jones at all year until they lose or until they're not having a good offseason. That's the only time I see some unbiased opinions about the Cowboys. Next comment. Next comment is by Lay Low. Cool YouTube name. These guys create such a toxic environment in the Dallas area. They are so negative about all the teams in the area. I don't understand why people even bother listening. Now, this is kind of how I look at things. It's not necessarily negative to me all the time. It's just I got ear fatigue of listening about the Dallas Cowboys, and the only time they talk about anything else is about baseball Nuggets and Texas Rangers. So I think there's fatigue with certain fans like myself and other fans because it's predominantly just the Cowboys. So I can see why it might come off like that. And then it is when the one time you talk about the Mavs is very negative. And Shariff, he kind of is the face of the fans. So for him to come out this hot and say these things that he said about the Mavs, I see why people are on this side of the field here, no pun intended, with saying that they're very negative towards the Dallas area. Sports teams. Next comment. All right, here we go. Shan, don't you know where you're at? Baby, you're in Dallas. We expect to win. We are winners. I don't know where you came from, state, city, etc., but you are here in D-Town. Give some respect. And that goes to my video that I dropped yesterday. I'm tired of the Dallas Mavericks getting disrespect. And subsequently, Shariff had this take today on the post day of me dropping that video that Mavericks are getting disrespect. So for him to drop a video like this, it just kind of coincides with what I had yesterday. Next comment. Luka has shown he could push a championship contender to 7 games strictly by himself. If we avoid Suns or anything happens to CP3, we could definitely get to the finals, and anything can happen there. Being a contender doesn't mean you are a favorite. Stop speaking in extremes, by Sean Calhoun. Shout out Sean Calhoun. Stop speaking in extremes. That is great. I love that. I love that. I love that. Stop speaking in extremes. The sensationalization of the take that he had, it was such a hot take that it was so crazy to say that they're not title contenders. I mean, anybody could say that, right? Let's see. What's the other one? All right. I think it's interesting how 105.3 The Fan waves the Dallas Cowboys flag regardless of how they play and throw shade. Anytime the Mavs are buzzing in the media by Cowboy. Wow. See, I don't even think the Mavericks are buzzing in the media because nationally they're not. Only locally on Twitter. Mavs Twitter is the only place you get anything Mavericks related. Mavs Twitter is where it's at. There's a lot of people on Mavs Twitter that I fuck with. They don't retweet or like any of my stuff, but here I am making videos about the Mavericks and defending them in every which way, right? Because I'm an actual Mavs fan, and I believed in the Mavs from the beginning. I said they were going to be 3rd seed before the season started. Next comment. Who in the hell would ever think that we would win a championship with Palliser Center? Right, exactly. It was more to alluding to the point that this was not a hot take. This was probably more just an outburst. Oh, look at this comment here by Alex Garcia. The Mavericks will always be a title contender compared to the Cowboys. Ooh, because the Mavericks can say they've won a championship a lot more recently than the Cowboys. And the Mavericks can say they've been in the playoffs a lot more and gone a lot further than the Cowboys. But yet, the Cowboys trump everything when it comes to topics and coverage. I'm just saying. Then I'm going to read one more comment and we're going to end it off here. Let's see. What's a comment that I like? Here we go. I like this one. By Montrell Garrett. Shout out Montrell Garrett. Playing above their heads and lucky? Question mark? Exclamation mark? Question mark? Ha 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 ha. This team has put the work in and has been through a lot of problems, just like every other team. So if you don't have faith in this team, then that's on you. And definitely doesn't mean the rest of us don't get to have faith. If we make it to the Western Conference Finals, who's to say we're not to win the championship this year? You fans are fake. Woo! That was hot. I actually want to read more. Let's see. Aaron Martinez. He's right, but I think there's a chance because teams like Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets, Jazz have been hammered with injuries. Even Ja is hurt. Team to beat are the Suns. As a fan, I'm cool with just getting out the first round, but I think we have a legit chance at the conference finals. And I'll end it off there. Here's my path for the Mavericks to get to the finals. And let's turn this entire conversation, instead of talking about the fan, Shariff, and all this crap, let's talk about the Mavs' chance at the finals. You're probably going to get the Jazz, or you're probably going to get the Nuggets in the first round if you stay at the 3rd seed. I like my chances. I like my chances in those series. For a plethora of reasons I could get into in another video, but the Mavs win that first round. They go into the second round against who would been the 2 seed versus the 7 seed, right? And that would be either Memphis. It's going to be Memphis. So it'll be Dallas and the Grizzlies. Dallas has had the Memphis Grizzlies number this year. I do like the way we match up against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies could beat us as well. But I'm just going to take the fact that Luka has a bit more playoff experience than Ja Morant. And Luka is more clutch than Ja Morant at this current juncture. And Luka's game will just overwhelm Memphis Grizzlies defense, and we'll win that series as well. That takes us to the Western Conference Finals. Again, I'm not saying this is a sure shot. We could lose to the Grizzlies too. They're a solid-ass team. I mean, they're 19-2 without Morant. So we get to the Western Conference Finals, right? Who is to say, legitimately, and I'm not even throwing shade. I don't wish this on nobody. But who's to say CP3 makes it to the Western Conference Finals? Who's to say that, right? Who would they have to go through? They'll play the A seed, whoever that is. They're going to win that. They'll play the 4 to 5 is going to be either the Warriors or Jazz or Nuggets. Which they'll win that. Right? Yeah, they'll win that. So then it's going to be the Suns. I don't know. Maybe the Warriors with Steph Curry might give them. Because who in the Warriors is going to guard Steph? Oh, that's a good one. But who's to say the Suns make it to the Western Conference Finals? Let's say they do. And let's say the CP3 survive that long to the Western Conference Finals. If, for some reason, CP3 is not there, I like my chances as a Mavericks fan. If CP3 is there, I hope I said he wasn't there in the last one, but if he is there, I don't like my chances as a Mavs fan because CP3 kills us in the clutch. Those Suns have had our number for the last couple of years. So definitely the Suns could definitely beat us in the finals. But if, say, CP3 is hurt, Mavericks will advance to the finals. And 3-1. And whoever they face at that point, who gives a damn? We overachieved. We made it to the NBA Finals. And Shan Shariff and every single fan or every other person that hates on the Mavericks for no reason, they can eat a lot of crow and they can shut up once and for all. Anyway, guys, been your boy TGK. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about the fan and the radio station and its trajectory, how you feel about Shariff's little outburst. Let me know everything that you got. Put it in the comments below. I'm going to be responding to each and every single one of you. Again, it's been your boy TGK. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.